Hey everybody, Bryan here. Hope your Halloween was amazing. Hope all the weeks you've had after Halloween have also been amazing, and I hope just you in general are amazing. But speaking of amazing, or the exact opposite of amazing, less amazing, not amazing, bad amazing, this episode's audio is bad amazing. It's not very good, and I apologize. The first half is going to sound great, and then about halfway through you're going to notice a pretty major shift. It's going to sound like Matt and I are in like a box on the other end of Ryan's apartment, because we kind of are in a way. My audio died, and the only way to fix it was, well, you'll hear how I fixed it. I'm sorry about that. I still think the episode is great, and I really hope you have a great time listening to it. I know we had a blast recording it, and I think that still shows through, even with the audio. So thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy the show. Bye. So, hi, welcome to Binge Buddies, Bad Days in Haddonfield. I'm your host, always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog, Jason Voorhees, Dykes. Instead of going,
I don't get it.
Going real obvious this week, because I'm not a big fan of these movies, and I didn't really take the time to look up nicknames.
I mean, you could say that these are really bad days in Haddonfield.
That's true. Because we also have Ryan Michael Myers Lootens.
Is that 28 days later?
Yep, you nailed it.
It's Austin Powers, isn't it?
I'm a little upset that I'm not Big Cookie Woman, because that's what I was going for.
You know, we have a whole nother week to record after this one. So why? Who knows? Maybe next week. So here we are. We're in week 5 of Bad Days in Haddonfield. And really quick, before we get too far into this, I apologize. I was unable to get an episode out last week. I only know that now because I'm sitting here recording the episode I'm supposed to get out last week, and I know I'm not going to edit it today. So I apologize for not doing that. So we missed a week. But at least we had an episode out for Halloween, which was the goal. So I'm happy we made that. And then sorry for the first week in November. Anyhow.
So glad that the episode we had out for Halloween was not this one.
Oh my god.
That's because 4's good.
4 is good. There is a lot of parallels between this and like Friday the 13th, and I'm gonna keep bringing up like, 4 is surprisingly good. 5 is a weird course change. Like, why are you doing that? Why is like this is a bad idea. But that's really where I just need to start with this. This is not a good movie. Like, this is one of those movies that my wife finished and went, ugh, that was bad. And it's like, well, I hear 6 is worse, because I'd never seen 6, and yeah, that's true. 6 is worse. So we're going to enjoy this week talking about the better of the two films we're going to review over the course of our recording session that you get to listen to over the course of 2 weeks. But I'll let the resident Halloween expert talk about it for a minute. Ryan, what are your feelings on part 5 specifically? We'll talk 6 next week.
That's so. In terms of Halloween 5. It's so I always watch it during the Halloween season. I mean, I love Halloween, but I just put it on in the background. You know, when you sit there and you watch it and you're like, God, what the hell is this? And then you start to notice things as you beef up on the franchise, and you learn things about the filmmaking, and you're like, what did they do? How did they not do this better? And like, the whole Dr. Death opening. You see that in the film, but you don't get Dr. Death. So, you see the table that he's on when his hand goes. It's just so... Some of the decisions that were made, you can tell that the franchise is in trouble. And then when it gets bought by Miramax and the stupid Weinstein brothers, it goes even shittier. So, but we'll get into that. I watch it. It's good. It's one of those films that is not my favorite. Actually, out of the least 5, the next 3 are on my bottom 4. So in that regard, this movie is just not good. The mask is terrible. The netted eyes leave nothing to the illusion, because it's kind of nice when you're watching all the other Halloweens and they do have no mesh netting on the eyes and you see the eyes. It's always interesting to see that, but with this, it just looks really, really dumb. So I enjoyed the brute mask more because you saw Michael's eyes more, but everything about this movie is just dumb. They tried a little bit too hard. Some of the kills are okay, but it's just substandard in terms of slasher.
Matt, what was your take? As someone who was not as familiar.
Oh boy. I mean, that's
Sounds like you and Chewie landed at the same spot.
it just. I remember kind of enjoying it the first time I watched it. Like, years ago when I was first watching these films and I went through the series, I remember vaguely enjoying this one. And I came back to it and I was just... I mean, the first time I tried to watch it was on Thursday evening and I just had my COVID jab. I fell asleep after 10 minutes. So I fell asleep... And because it's like, you know, it went from Halloween 5 and it carried straight onto Halloween 6, like, you know, the way I'm watching it. So,
Ow.
so I woke up I fell asleep during the first, like, 5 or 10 minutes of Halloween 5, and I woke up in the middle of Halloween 6. That was more...
terrible viewing experience.
I mean, that was more cohesive, I think, than watching Halloween 5 and 6 in full, to be honest. It was just so... I started skipping like 15 seconds ahead every now and again. I was just like, I just want this to end. It's just... I don't think there's enough story for one film in it. So I think what they've done is they've taken like 3 different short films and kind of really weirdly stitched them together. Because it jumps around all over the place. The stuff with Jamie makes no sense. Like...
No.
It's just... Tedious. That's how I would describe it. In fact, I think I actually wrote that in one of my notes.
That's your note? This is
Tedious.
tedious?
Yeah, my last bullet point was that film was tedious. And it's just, it is like, from the very beginning, you're like, why does this guy keep around this person who crawled out of the ocean? The first thing he did is he tried to strangle him. And he keeps him around for a year and then gets murdered by him. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, this guy, the first time you saw him, he tried to strangle you. Call the fucking police. Like, I don't care if I don't care if you're cooking meth in that weird cabin thing and you can smell it for years. Call the fucking police because he's going to kill you at some point.
You know, I don't know how things go over across the pond, but we here in Illinois are real simple folk. So if we had someone try to strangle us, sometimes we could just interpret that as a hug. Haven't you ever heard of Iowa Nice?
He was just aiming too high. Yeah, is that what it is?
Missed it.
Really high?
Yeah.
If I ever kill someone by
It's
strangling
too
them,
narrow and too high. Like that's
Hand
the
hug.
problem.
yeah, exactly. So like, that's going to be my defense if I ever kill someone by strangulation. Then no, I didn't mean to kill them. It was just too high and too tight a hug.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's a narrow high hug.
Yeah, narrow high hug. I like that.
Just saying, I'm from Illinois, and that's how you give hugs.
Oh yeah, because I really sound like
also
I'm from Illinois.
there. Nope. Yeah, you sound like a resident for sure, Matt.
I mean, I can string a sentence together, so that kind of burn.
What?
All right, so let's actually dive into this thing as much as we're gonna want to. I should offer, you know, if you are a diehard fan of Halloween 5 and you're out there and you're listening to us, I'm gonna apologize in advance. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about it.
I'm not. If you're a diehard fan of this, you're an idiot.
Even though if those people are fans, you know that this movie is not good.
And if you think this movie is good, you're an idiot.
Like, I mean, I'm a Friday the 13th fan. Like, and my favorite one is Part 7. So like, I can watch these movies and go like, all right, there could be a fan out there somewhere, but this one just doesn't work for me. So that's where I'll leave.
I love 7.
That's not where I'm leaving it at all. And I'm going to spend the next like 40 minutes just ripping it to shreds. But
I mean, my favorite
I'll
Friday
leave
the
that
13th film is 6. So you know.
I like 6 too.
Oh, 6 is good.
Yeah.
Not 6 in this franchise though. This is
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
like
no.
it's like what you were saying, Brian. There was a weird parallel. Like 5 and 5 of like Friday the 13th and Halloween are very bad films. But then 6 in this is even
and they both
worse.
take place in mental institutions. They're both dealing with maybe having somebody else change the mask. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, but then like, you know, with 6 and 6, Friday the 13th at least realized where they'd fucked up and were like, let's just back
True
up
return to form.
and fix what
Yeah.
we fucked up there. Halloween just goes, here's a grenade.
Lean in.
I'm Harvey Weinstein. I want to change the ending. And there's that.
Never a good idea. All right, so this movie picks up a year after the part 4, and
Yep.
Oh
turns
no,
out
almost
Lori-
a year. It's the day
Almost a
before
year.
Halloween. So because they come up with the subtitle says Halloween Eve, and one of my notes is literally Halloween Eve isn't a thing.
But
You can't-
doesn't Halloween 4 take place on the 30th as well when he escapes?
Yeah, but
there we go.
it
I
doesn't
got
take
you,
place
Brian.
exactly a year.
Semantics, man.
Hey, I was agreeing with you. This is Matt. This is go that way. I'm pointing in the cameras.
I mean, what I'm
sticking
saying
with a year.
is it doesn't carry on exactly a year from when it ended. It's 365
Fine.
days.
Okay, so-
364 days later.
Oh my god. Okay, so not quite a year later, this movie picks up. And it's exactly what Matt was complaining about earlier with the Michael taking a cat nap in a cave while some guy watches him, and then he wakes up and just has to keep murdering. And that's really the kickoff of this movie. And like, I can't say it's bad. It's not like if you're just trying to think like, all right, we need a Michael Myers movie. He kind of died at the end of the last one, but that's never going to happen. I don't know. He took a nap and he's back at it. We're not going to waste too much time here. So I can kind of appreciate that of just like, nah, fuck it. He needs to get out in the world and he needs to start stabbing people, and he's not going to do it on the 4th of July. So, he took a year off. That's it. I'm kind of okay with that.
This is where the Dr. Death thing makes so much more, because I sent it to you guys, but he's an occultist. Like, he just likes the black magic. And so, he sits here and does like some type of voodoo chant on Michael. He gets the same hand hug from at the beginning, but then he passes out. And so he's like, ooh, this is like, I think he senses more of like the evil in him. And that's why he nurses him back to health. And then does like some type of voodoo. I don't even know, but he basically resurrects Michael. And with the Hermit's death, you see, you still see clips of the Dr. Death opening, which it just again, this is bad movie making, bad editing. Like, if you're gonna redo something, redo it entirely, because then people are gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, which is what everyone, at least on this podcast, felt while watching the beginning of this movie. What the hell are you doing?
It's light in there, and then it's dark. So light, dark. I just don't get it.
I mean, there is something to be said. I swear I'm not going to compare these next 2 weeks of Friday the 13th too much, but I am going to do it a little bit more. There is something that's like Friday the 13th realized at this point, like, oh shit, this is so campy. No one's going to take it serious. Why are we taking it so serious? And then it kind of just had a party after that. Your mileage may vary how much that entertains you, but that's kind of what they went for. Halloween felt more like, no, this is serious. Let's get more serious. Let's get more serious with witches and curses and craziness. And it's like, this could have been fun. Like, in the right hands, this exact same script could have been a lot of fun. And I just don't think it quite got there. Like, this whole, like, Michael taking a nap in the cave thing, even if it was Dr. Death or just a nap, could have been a very funny, kind of fun, campy sequence. But instead, they tried to make it way too serious.
I mean, how great would it have been if, like, you literally have the guy, the hermit, or Dr. Death, whoever the hell it is, wake up one morning and they've got a calendar and they literally cross off the 30th.
And Michael
And then Michael just sort of like wakes up. Please, like that would have been brilliant. Like, lean into that sort of like the ludicrousness of it. This is not fucking Shakespeare that you're making.
And then you see Michael, go and wash his hair, get ready, polish the mask, just get ready for the day.
Exactly. Like, combing the crap out of the hair on the mask, and
God,
like,
that seaweed really does a
spray
number
it.
on it.
spray the hair, like, spray the hair black, and then spray the mask like white again. Like, clean it up a little bit.
Or just give it a moment of him going, is this my mask? I feel like it was different.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's grown longer.
Yeah, something's different with this one. Did the hermit go buy me a new mask while I was napping?
Has someone made the nose bigger on this?
I guess the eyes were still blacked out in the fourth one, but it wasn't as obvious in the fourth one.
Have him like put in the little mesh things on the inside of the eyes, That'd be brilliant.
Or ripping him out. This was a terrible idea.
I couldn't see anything with these.
But anyhow, this was stupid. All right, let's kind of move more into the movie a little bit. So the one thing that I actually think this movie does that I really enjoy, it's kind of my favorite thing, is that it carries over the character of Rachel from part 4 and then kills her.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of took somebody who I thought had a fair bit of plot armor and went, nope.
Yeah.
Kind of something they try to replicate in next week's movie again, not nearly as successfully. But this one I actually thought, like, because they gave her a really good stalking sequence, almost a little too creepy. Like, I don't feel like that used to be as, like, Predator, like, creepy wise as it was, like, I'm going to just murder you wise. And I feel like it's kind of leaning more in the pervy side now. Whatever, it's the times. But, like, the whole sequence with Rachel, I thought was actually really good. The kill was a little boring, but, you know.
Well, that was my problem with it. My problem with that sequence is it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it's like it goes on too long for it to just be stabbed in the shoulder with a pair of scissors. It was just a bit like,
Yeah.
That's the payoff on that? Do something interesting.
Did that...
For me, it's, you know, where 4 does a really good job of placing Michael in the background without really noticing him to, like, oh, there he is. This movie does it way too much and falls flat on its fucking face. Bad.
Well, they put Michael in the background in the middle of the day.
Behind a tree. Like, oh, there's something right there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice contrast.
I mean, like, at this point, every single person in Haddonfield knows that fucking mask. They immediately see someone very badly hiding behind a tree, wearing that mask and the overalls. They're going to turn around and go, we should probably call the police. I think that's Michael Myers.
Well, even after, you know, Tina goes to the house and they go just walk around town square, which I guess is right around the fucking corner, Michael's just chilling in the bushes again with the thing that he uses to kill Michael, the other Mike, Tina's boyfriend Mike. He's just holding that thing. So it's like, okay, so I guess he's just going to hold on to this thing until he, you know, he's got his weapon of choice. It's not a knife. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just going to walk around with this thing until he can use it, and he uses it on Mike at the downtown store. So he's just walking Haddonfield after he leaves the bushes, holding this, you know, hoe thing.
Reminds me of, and I've just thought of this now. You ever played Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
You ever walk past a police officer in Grand Theft Auto with an RPG out?
Yeah.
And they do nothing?
Yeah. We're like, we've battled Michael 4 times or 3 times. We're good. 2 times.
It's like, what is he saying? Oh, good evening, officer. I'm just taking my stabby device for a walk today.
It just,
like...
the story is just so disjointed. But back what you were saying about, you know, you've got this, there's no justice for Rachel. Rachel was freaking brilliant in the 4th one. And I don't know if this was Ellie, I forget her last name, if this was her, Cornwall? Either way. Cornell, thank you. I don't know if this was her choice to be killed off, and she asked for it, but they did it. But just the stalking and everything about it, there's just no justice for her. And when you see, you know, she fought Michael for so hard in the 4th movie, for her just to turn around and get, you know, stabby, it just doesn't work for me.
It's not even like a really brutal death as well.
Yeah, like, but I don't think it's a bad I don't think it's a great stalking sequence, but as far as the movie goes, it's probably the best one, which is why it's kind of like, it's unfortunate that this character is the one who has like, it's going okay, and then it just does not stick the landing at all.
I think the best stalking is in the car with Tina, and then the other one is
Sure.
When Dr. Loomis is talking to the woods and he tells him to go home, and Michael is walking towards him. That was a creepy one, and he kind of emerges out of the shadows. That was a good one.
I didn't like that one. Like, I thought, like, as it was going, it felt to me like, I got to be honest. I think what's his name? Loomis, the actor.
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, I think Donald Pleasance realized what movies he's in in 5 and 6. Like, so when you get those moments of him telling him to go home, it doesn't resonate as much as it did, say, like in part 4, like in the gas station showdown, where it's like, oh shit, he is bringing it in this scene. This one, it felt more paint by numbers, and I think that's why, like, although that sequence is a really good sequence, it just doesn't land for me because I don't feel it from Pleasance like I was before.
Yeah.
See, in this one, I think you actually see that Donald Pleasance is drunk when he's making them, whereas in the other ones, you couldn't tell. But he is, like, I swear to God, sometimes he's slurring his words. Like, one minute he's talking with, like, a really sort of hoarse voice, and then the next minute he's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's very inconsistent as well. And it's a shame, because, like, you look at his performance in all the other ones, like, you know, especially like Halloween 4, like, yes, his performance in Halloween 2 is fantastic, but by the time he's in like the 4th film of this franchise, he's still giving it all he's got. Whereas in this one, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's direction. I don't know if that's what part of the problem is. Because sometimes, you know, a bad director can't get a good performance out of a really great actor. You know, so it could be that. But there's just, I don't know. It's not great.
It could also be the script.
Yeah, it could very well be the script. Yeah. There's a lot of factors it could be, and it's unfortunate it didn't work out. I do agree with Ryan though. Like the Michael in the car with Tina. Like, I hate Mike. Like, Mike is probably one of my least favorite characters they put in a Halloween movie. So him getting fucking impaled in the face, I'm like, good, see ya.
He was such an asshole.
He's such an asshole.
I mean,
like, there's something about people in Haddonfield, man. The worst assholes live in fucking Haddonfield.
I know. Like, he's probably even worse with, like, I swear to God, he's worse than your nipple placement is perfect guy from the Friday the 13th remake. Like, all he does is just look at himself in a mirror and then, like, try to beat people up. He's literally. Yeah. I mean, Christ, maybe he's one of those people who literally have sex with the car.
You know what I find funny is, you know, he sits here and he loves his car. He wipes his car. He doesn't let anybody touch his car. He flips out on Michael Myers when, you know, and you should know, like, who Michael Myers is at that point. But him and his girlfriend Tina like it in the car, and that can be pretty messy. So I just don't get it. You know, if he's really good mess with the interior.
I have a feeling he's got a big tarp, like a plastic sheet on the back of his car that he drives on. And every time she starts getting a bit frisky, he's like, wait! We
gotta put the tarp down.
And then just rolls it up and just puts it back in the boot.
Yeah, would not surprise me. And I bet that tarp smells wonderful.
Oh, yeah, it is in the back of his car, so maybe he does sort of, like, you know, take it out and spray it down with a hose or something.
You know that guy doesn't. You know he doesn't.
It's his car.
Not that anyone should. This is a horrible plan. I'm judging him for his horrible plan. But anyhow, after Mike's out of the picture and, like, he gets fucking impaled and it's like, great, see ya. I do like that sequence of Michael wearing the boyfriend's mask while driving her around. Like, it's just creepy enough. I'm like, okay, there are some good ideas here. They just don't ever pay off, which is a bummer because it is a cool sequence.
Well, even like the payoff with, you know, them finding Tina at the gas station, and then Michael puts his original mask on, just sitting there in his white mask, just, oh, here's cop cars. I'm gonna maybe they don't see me.
Like all the cop cars as well. Like every
I'm just gonna
single
put
cop
it in reverse very slowly.
It's like whoa, doo, 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 doo. I mean, like you said, it's a very white mask as well. Like. Yeah, that face is glowing almost in the. And the cops are so fucking stupid.
Yeah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
What the hell?
The writing of the cops is bad. I can kind of forgive it though because the cops can't be too intelligent in these films, otherwise, you know, they wouldn't happen. But what I cannot forgive is the stupid music cue. Whenever those bumbling fucking morons are on, it's like, it's like, what the hell?
I mean, this is clearly, at least to me, this is clearly a reference to Last House on the Left. Like that, this just feels like the guy who made this movie fucking loves Last House on the Left and loves those two bumbling cops and the corny music that plays whenever they're on screen.
Yeah.
Like, because that is something that's been done. It's a huge thing in that movie because they put it in there because this movie's way too fucking intense. We need people to feel okay at least every now and then. So they put in those two idiot cops, and it does work in that movie. It does not work in this movie.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think the most honest line in the whole film is when one of the cops says, "Look, I know we're I'll know we're terrible cops or something like that. And it's like, yes, you are. Get a new job. Go be a postman or something.
Oh,
The economy, man.
Yeah, they are the worst. But at least they know it. Like, there's a bit of like, oh, well, at least you're honest. I do like moving on a little bit. Like when they go to the actual Halloween party at the barn. Like or was it a party? Or were they just hanging out of the barn? I was getting real tired.
Tower Farm party. Because I always remember it's the Tower Farm because Jamie's boyfriend's like, the Tower Farm. God.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I was kind of dozing a little bit here, and it made me just kind of go like, oh, I wish I was watching Freddy vs. Jason. That has a cool barn party. Like, I like that movie.
You like that movie?
Freddy vs. Jason. Hey,
it's fun.
Love Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason, I think, is one of the best Freddy movies and one of the best Jason movies. I can go on a whole tirade about how near perfect that movie is, but that's for a different day. Back to this horrible movie. I do like they're starting to kind of bang in the barn, and it has that moment of like before he pulls out protection where it looks like it's just already happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're back to Phantasm 12-minute pants on or 12-second pants on sex, and I was so excited for like 3 seconds till I realized like, oh no, they're just warming up. Damn. Well, at least he has protection. And I'm watching this with my wife, and she just goes, oh good, you have protection for sex in a barn. Like, it's not a great place to have sex.
Whatever happened to the satin sheets?
The worst of your the least of your concerns. Sorry, when you have sex in a barn that's definitely got animal shit everywhere.
And then it also has a murderer there with a pitchfork who's gonna kill your boyfriend and then decapitate you, I guess.
And kittens apparently as well.
Oh, and kittens. Yeah, don't think about the kittens.
Yeah.
There's obvious, like, you know, again, Haddonfield, they must raise kittens in a barn.
I guess. Why? I mean, I guess they're cute in a way. But yeah, I didn't really understand. Like, do you see her die, or was I fading?
No, you don't.
You see him sort of like it does that swipe towards.
Oh, that's cool.
No, you don't see her die. You don't even see her dead body. Like when Spitz and Sam roll out from above her, you only see Spitz. You don't see her dead body.
Oh, you do see her body, but you
don't see
tell if she's been decapitated or not.
Right.
That's weird. I mean, Wikipedia has it listed as she's been decapitated. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I wrote down that she's decapitated.
I just
assumed
killed with Skype.
Scythe, not a Skype.
I'm gonna keep calling it Skype. I've been calling it Skype my whole life. Why am I gonna change now? It's more fun to say, damn it.
It's the precursor to Skype.
So now all these idiots have died. Jamie agrees to help stop Michael.
Oh, whoa. You can't say all the idiots, man. Tina grows on me. And Tina's got her flaws. But her sacrifice and realizing that Jamie is important, man, that pulls at my heartstrings. Like, she sacrificed herself for Jamie.
Okay,
she's still an idiot.
She's an idiot at the start, I'll give you that. But I like that her little character arc in there. That was nice to me.
She laughs at everything. Like, I swear to God, the woman is on cocaine or something. Because she just finds everything.
I'm not denying that. No,
I can give you Tina. I do like the sacrifice moment of Tina. That's not something you get in a lot of horror movies. A lot of the oh shit, I have to die so that you don't. Like, that doesn't really happen a lot, especially in these teen slasher films. Whenever the good gets going, it usually just turns into, push your friend in front of the murderer and run away.
Well, and with that too, like, that's probably the most graphic death. You actually, like, when the knife is like going in, like, you almost see like the flesh. Like, I don't know how they did like with the fake knife, but it was really impressive what they did there. Yeah. So but back to the barn, I have to say this again with the stalking in the barn is probably some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen in a Halloween movie. It's so dumb. You sit there and you see his face. It's clear as day because the white is so fucking the mask is so fucking white. And there's that little bit of light, and even I can see it. Like, come on, like, and you look at like the cinematography, you see the straw and everything. It's like, come on, this is so dumb. Maybe Tina does deserve to die, but I still enjoyed her character arc. I digress.
swear to God,
I'm done.
People in Haddonfield just walk around with their eyes closed.
It could be. Maybe they're just, we don't want to see it. It's not there. If I don't see it,
which movie was it where, was it 4, where all the dudes started wearing the Michael Myers mask to
Yep.
fight the police?
Yep.
So there is a possibility that, like, the town just kind of wears the murdering on its sleeve, and people wear this Halloween costume all the time, and we see it happen in quite a few movies. People own that mask, they wear that mask.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just seeing just like the tip of the iceberg, and it's just like people wear that mask every fucking day, and they're all over Haddonfield.
It's their claim to fame, man.
That there was a Michael Myers, and I was like, oh fuck, there he is again.
Could be.
Then they're idiots because he's going to come back and kill everyone, and it's their fault that everyone just ignores people in Michael Myers masks.
Right. Are we just avoiding talking about the climax of the movie at this point because it's so bad?
The problem is, as I've mentioned a few times, I did kind of start fading by this point. So the climax is a little fuzzy. I can go with what I remember, which is so basically for me, the movie kind of ended around the barn, and then it picked up with Michael in jail, and the jail was blowing up. Everything in there is a little fuzzy.
Okay. So, we talked about stalking sequence, and I don't know if you would. Okay. So at the house, Loomis is, like we talked about earlier with that stalking scene. He calls out Michael's like, we're going over, we're doing this. And they have all these cops there, right? And this man in black, whoever the fuck this guy is, until we find out who he is in 6, but this is just stupid. The man in black shows his, face, his steel-toed boots in Haddonfield.
Such cool steel-toe boots.
Yeah, the steel-toe boots, which are making the sound that Spurs would, but the Spurs are clearly not on those boots.
Right.
No,
they fixed that in the sequel, in the 6th one.
They're spur-toed boots.
Yeah. So, he makes a diversion so Michael can. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm gonna make a diversion at this kid hospital so Michael can actually go get. It makes sense in part 6 once you watch 6, but the fact that you don't have that explanation, it makes zero sense. Because Michael having a cop car
done for like what 6 years is it?
Right.
Until 6 comes out.
Yep.
So Michael having the cop car, that makes total sense because he could have just grabbed the cop car from the 2 idiots or whatever. Either way, but he goes to the house and there's this big chase in the house. And what I really liked about this sequence is the laundry chute. That was a good moment. I don't know if you would call it stalking as opposed to attacking, but he cuts Jamie's leg and you don't see it. Like, there's so many cuts in this movie that just don't make sense. So I don't know if it's an MPA thing or whatever, but it just doesn't make sense.
I'm inclined to think it's an MPAA thing, to be honest, because it's at this point where they were really sort of clamping down on like the slasher films, I think.
Yeah, they did for sure. Because in the beginning when he's killing Dr. Satan, you actually, in that cut that I showed you actually see him stabbing him with the antler ear or horn, not ear, and blood coming out of his mouth. Whereas this, you don't get that with the Hermit. So there's definitely a lot of stuff coming out, which again we'll talk about with 6, because you can see how the producer's cut made things much more simple, whereas Harvey Weinstein, like, let's snap his neck and show his bone. Let's do all this other. Let's have the dad blow up when being electrocuted. Not for me. Anyway, but
Rewatch the director's cut.
Yeah.
The theatrical cut.
What I really hate about the whole house sequence, the old Myers house, is how the director treats his audience. When Jamie's going up the stairs, the wheelchair is there. And then when she's facing the direction when she's going upstairs, there should be a dead body. There should be Mike's dead body. And the empty wheelchair, we find out when she's discovering all the dead bodies, Rachel's in that wheelchair. So she's there and then she's not there, and Michael's coming up the stairs. So where did, thanks for treating me like I'm an idiot, but if you're doing it for cheap scares, it's pretty stupid. So yeah, anyway, and then, Loomis comes to save the day and, chains Michael up and beats him with a 2x4, and then he's in prison.
That's his plan, where she's like, can you stop him? He's like, I think I can.
I'm going to trank him and beat him.
Yeah, I'm going to drop a chain on him, shoot him with a tranquilizer gun, and then beat him with a big piece of wood. Good plan.
Right.
Yeah, shocker, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
I think you nailed it, Ryan. To be honest, because I think the film is treating its audience like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because we have seen Michael get shot in the eyes and still just sort of wander around and be fine. We've seen him survive so much shit, and we're led to believe that, just drop a chain net on him and hit him with a piece of wood, and that'll put him there.
Yeah, because tranquilizer's not going to stop, a 6-foot dude that's bulked.
No.
Tranquilizer's not going to stop a guy that a 357 Magnum to each eye.
But yeah, I think out of just back up, Matt, is just these 5 and 6 definitely make it seem like their audience, they're filming. Oh, we can get away with stuff. They're not going to notice. Well, fuck you.
What have we missed in this thing? We basically missed the point where now everyone's dead. It seemed like Loomis was dying, and then I guess they still got him on for another movie because why not?
I mean, there's a stupid bit where he takes his mask off as well.
Yeah, upstairs in the Myers house. Let me see. He's like, bitch, don't touch me.
That didn't work for me at all. That's probably why I didn't bring it up and why I kind of phased over it again. Like the whole Jamie talking to him while he's going to kill her, but look, we're family. I'm like, I see what you're trying to do here. It's very clear what you're trying to do. It's not fucking working.
Uncle, Boogeyman. That's where they should have rewritten that.
Can you give me a birthday present instead? Like it's just
9 years of presents, you asshole, and now you want to show up.
It's just it does not stick the landing, and then more so. So now they go the Batman approach.
Yeah, the FBI or some federal law enforcement people are coming to collect him in the morning and take him to a secure federal facility.
And then weird black clad guy who there's something creeping weird about him. And then what's he coming to do? He just has an Uzi and shoots up the police station.
Yep. And then Freeze blows up part of the police station and then leaves. And were we supposed to infer that he kidnapped Jamie on the way out?
Well, that's what 6 shows.
That's the thing. I don't think you're supposed to infer that from 5 because it's like the last shot is Jamie in there looking around at the empty police station and the empty jail cell. And I think that's kind of like, I took that as, he's got away again. Yeah. But then 6 turns it and has her getting kidnapped. There's nothing in. I don't know. It's hard to say. Knowing where it goes, but I don't think they were. Maybe they were intending to do that, and they just did it really badly.
Came out closer together. I would assume it was more intentional. But this feels more like this came out 6 years ago. What can we make work? I guess the guy was there. Maybe he just nabbed her on the way out.
Yeah, and that's 6 trying to fix the mistake, and I think that's what works. It just kind of makes sense of everything that was happening. So I can forgive it just because 6 is such a trashy movie anyway, and I would say that the producer's cut makes up some ground for 5 and 6.
All right, let's move into if there even is any favorite moments, quotes, or what have you from this one. I know this one's a tough one. I guess if I'm going for my favorite, it's still just because I like the character from 4, even though it's probably one of my least favorite things in the movie. I'm still going with Rachel's moment, just because I like having Rachel in the movie. All right, but that was mine. Matt, what about you?
I don't know. I kind of like the Loomis. Literally, I struggle with so much. I like the Loomis line where he says, "I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him." That's a pretty decent line. It's probably the best line in the film. But honestly, in terms of just, it's not the best moment, but it's the moment that I just laughed my ass off because of how stupid it was. And it's the bit where the guy's on the radio, and I fucking called that he was going to say this before it can hear Eddie screaming over the radio and looks at the sounds of being killed, and then you hear the other police officer go, "Eddie, come in." I was like, for fuck's sake, he's clearly being killed.
And it's the best. It's the best sounds ever. He's like,
and he's like, "Eddie, are you okay?" Definitely not. It's like, I'm sorry, the cops who were like, "We're lousy cops." Yeah, you are.
Just-
But to be honest, your entire fucking police department's lousy as well. Because you can't even
Lousy.
tell when someone's getting killed.
Lousy cops and stupid people.
Yeah. Like, did the whole town of Haddonfield just drink something that's destroyed their mental capacity to process any information?
Very
Well,
possible.
I know what I'm sending you for Christmas. I'm going to get you some Illinois water.
That sounds like piss. I don't know. It sounds like
You could be on to something there.
I just take one drink of it and just like, oh.
Next thing you know, you're going to have a fancy tattoo on your wrist and go on a killing spree. It's fine.
Ryan, what about you? Favorite moment from this thing?
Mine's going to be a quote. You know, I always say like favorite death and a moment and all this other stuff. My favorite moment obviously would be the laundry chute. I
The
thought that
end?
was no.
The end credits.
Yes. No, the laundry chute, that was pretty good. Again, but then when Michael sticks his head out, you see those goddamn mesh eyeballs. You're like, God damn it. Just renewed hatred. But that was pretty good, pretty intense. My favorite kill, I think, is Spitz, because who doesn't love getting killed when they're having sex, you know? Clearly Spitz. He was penetrating and he gets penetrated, so it's fine. I see the irony in that kill. But my favorite line, I think probably my favorite thing about the whole movie is just what I don't like is the fact that we don't know about Sheriff Meeker at the end. We don't know if he dies. We didn't see his dead body, so that's a little off-putting to me, but I really enjoyed the conversation that Meeker and Loomis have in the hospital, or I'm sorry, in the police station. And when he's Loomis is calling out all the people he kills, and he goes, "Your daughter," and he goes, "I haven't forgotten," and Loomis goes, "I know you haven't." I'm like, that's some pretty powerful, between those two, that's a pretty powerful moment. So, and I think that's probably the best acting out of the whole movie.
It's also really fucking obvious, though.
Right.
He's not just going to turn around. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot that he killed my daughter.
Right.
My daughter's
But that's
I
just
had a daughter. That's right.
But that's just the writing. It's like, to me, it's like they're it's just the moment, and to have it delivered by Loomis so well, because the moment Loomis says it and the moment Meeker turns around, Donald Pleasance was ready to give his remark. Like, he let Meeker get his line in and he was right back to it. So it was really well played out. And I think it did a lot for just that moment of the movie and kind of hinted at, the trauma that's still there by people, because, I love Meeker as a character. We didn't get enough of him in this film, but I just think that moment was pretty well played.
I kind of agree. I think that's the only moment in the film really where,
Because that's where your line came from, right, Matt?
but the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best scenes in the film.
So
All right, I think we've done it, and we can say goodbye to this lovely
Tedious
movie. Yeah,
it's a good
the
word for it.
news is that next week is part 6. The bad news is that movie's a little worse. All right, so we're gonna move into plugs really quickly, and then we're gonna say goodbye. It's already happened at this point, but we'll still give the shout out to Joel and his Extra Life campaign because they crushed it. I think they just wrapped up a little bit ago, maybe, if I'm remembering correctly.
12 hours ago.
They made 12 hours ago. Okay, there you go. And they made almost $5,000. Like, way to go, guys! Like they crushed it. They did really good.
Does that mean we're getting Dune?
We'll have to ask Joel. I'm sure he'll come up with some bullshit reason that it means no. Because Joel.
He said 12 cents originally.
Yeah.
$5,000 is considerably more than 12 cents.
To be fair, we made him watch Halloween 5 and 6 and not review it. So
Don't care.
We didn't make him do shit. He volunteered.
you asked him to be on this, so he felt obligated. That's points enough as it is.
I don't care.
All seriousness, congratulations, guys. That's really awesome. So way to go.
Yeah.
Other plugs for us, everything that you need on the HEH network. Check out hhpod.com. This show, the Image Boost, Joel's other show, Afterthoughts, and the live role play D&D game. I never forget how to fucking call it. But Demon Days is also on that network. Be sure to check out Demon Days. It's a lot of fun. Ryan, what about you?
So you can find me on the Front Row Network. I do a lot of full disclosures there where we break down newer movies. I was also on the podcast for House of the Dragon, where we broke down every episode. But you can mainly find me at Front Row Flashbacks, where we dive into movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. We just finished up our Monster Cast. We talked a lot of horror, but now we are going to be diving into, more of the season's greeting. We got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles coming up, and we're going to be celebrating E.T. So that's what you can check out for me.
E.T.'s 40 years old this year.
Yep. We try to hit on anniversaries, so.
Yeah. I was doing that when I was writing articles however many years ago.
It was a while back.
Yeah.
But Matt,
maybe I'll
do you have any updates on your upcoming show?
So we've started making a list of films and a few TV things of and getting an idea of who would be best to come on for those ones. So the wheels are sort of turning, but it is a bit of a slow process at the moment, just because of we're trying to get availability and things like that, and still working out the kinks in the original recording that we're doing. Like I said, we're gonna we're still working on it.
Still thinking more early next year is what we're hoping.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be we'll launch it in the beginning of next year.
Cool.
Maybe and it might start out as once a month to begin with. Just it depends on how easy it becomes to get the content. Really,
sure.
Because it's we're looking at specific sci-fi that's got to it's scientifically, and the people that we're talking is we're not gonna be able to sort of say do.
You got to make sure there's enough science there so you can have a discussion.
Yeah, kind of, and it's we're not going to be able to do say for example Doctor Who one and look at the history and well that's not very accurate of the history. It's specifically it's got science and physics and things like that.
Sure. So
but yeah,
you're going to be tackling the core as soon as you can, right?
We may tackle the core, to be honest.
Or,
Sunshine is on the list.
That's a good
Sunshine
one.
Makes more sense than the core. But here's my one request, and then we're going to say goodbye. You need to do Moonfall. I want to hear.
Oh my god.
Accurate.
Oh my
god.
Dude, it's got aliens.
I think we were talking about that. We were actually talking about doing it.
Please do. I gotta listen to this shit.
Yeah, I actually think we were talking about doing it. I will mention it again though, because I have not seen that steaming pile of garbage, but I know
that is a movie that is.
Garbage.
I don't say this lightly. That is a movie that is so bad it's good. It blows right past bad and goes to Academy Award worthy amazing masterpiece.
My wife loves disaster movies, and I still to this day don't think that she's forgiven me for mentioning that film.
I mean, there's disaster films and there's films that are disasters.
Which it's very synonymous.
The moon chases people.
Yeah.
The movie is so amazing.
It's got nanotechnology.
Behind mountains, here's the moon.
It's got nanotech.
Is it a Roland Emmerich film?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is with him having inanimate objects, inanimate things chasing people? He had lava chasing people in 2012. Literally.
It's Ronald Emmerich. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He defies the laws of gravity himself.
Oh my god, we've gone over so much. We need to say goodbye. We're going to end this on a Roland Emmerich rant. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please see you next week.